Okay, here we have my dress boots. This is a pair of Red Wing Heritage boots, and I really love these things. I think they're gorgeous. They wear well. There was quite the break-in period, I will say that. You're working with a cork footbed in here, and it takes a couple weeks of wearing these things every day for a couple hours a day for that cork bed to start molding to your foot. So initially I hated them. They were super uncomfortable, but once you get through that break-in period, they fit like a glove. They're great. They're some of my most comfortable footwear now, and they wear like iron, I will say that. So I don't wear these to go work on the side or work in the shop in. These are purely dress boots. That's how I use them. I bought them based on the look because I thought they looked good, and I've really gotten away from wearing dress shoes, so I do like to be able to put these on when we're wanting to go out or going to church or anything like that. So I'm going to take you through the process of what I do to get these squared away. First thing you need to do is take out your laces. And just like on my work boots, I'm going to keep one boot that I don't touch and don't do anything to, and then I'm going to keep taking the other boot and show you how I work that out. So once I get the lace out, I'm going to take my Lippmann scrub brush here again and knock off anything with the scraper if there's any dirt. And I get a little bit here. So I did wear these out to the house, to the building site, and they got a little muddy the other day, but I hit them, touched them up pretty quickly. Ooh, hold on. So I want to make sure I just give these a light brushing, knock off any dirt there is, and kind of help to open up the pores in the leather so that when I do treat these, it'll be fine. So far there's really no difference. This boot is actually looking a little bit better than this one. That's because I just brushed this. So now to make sure that there's no surface dirt, any dirt that I can't see, and just to give them a good cleaning, I'm going to take a baby wipe again and rub these down. And you really want to make sure you get into that welt area. These are a traditional leather welted boot. It's a lot easier to get in there into that welt than on my work boots. Get around the toe cap here, get around the upper, get around all these eyelets. Make sure you get inside where all these eyelets are, where the tongue's attached. You want to be getting in there, scrubbing that all out. Really spread that tongue out like this and get in there. Make sure you clean up all the sides. Hit the back. The back of the boot's usually some of the best condition. It's usually covered by mostly pant legs, so it stays pretty good shape. Then finally I run the baby wipe here around my outer sole, just so it's all cleaned up and looking good. Okay, so I'm going to show you a close-up here of the two boots after I've wiped this one down with the wipe and this one here that hasn't been touched yet. So give me a second. Okay, so here is the boot that I've taken the laces out of and gotten cleaned up. Look at that. Look at how nice that's looking already. And I haven't even touched it with anything yet besides the baby wipe. That just looks gorgeous already. That's what happens when you take care of your boots. It doesn't take much to get them looking good. And here's the boot that I haven't done anything to. It really doesn't look too bad. You know, it's in good shape. It's just looking good. It's starting to get a nice patina back here from it wearing on my pant leg. kind of just buffs it as you wear it. But they're really not bad. The toe's a little scuffed. But we're going to take care of all that. We're going to take care of all that. Get these looking real good. So, what I'm going to do now is show you my super secret tip, my super secret product for working with these boots, these dress boots, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Alright, so I have these boots cleaned up, hit them with the baby wipe, hit them with the brush, the leather's dry, and I'm going to go ahead and put my leather conditioner of choice on here, and that is unrefined, cold pressed, virgin coconut oil. I think I got this from Aldi's for $3 or $4 for this whole jar. And the reason I like coconut oil is, A, it's got allegedly a ton of uses. And my wife does use it baking and cooking, and even for some other reasons that I have no idea what are. So, in the sake of being sanitary, don't just start reaching your hands in there and scooping it out. So I just take a few spoonfuls and put it in a bowl and use it from there. So this coconut oil, it's really great stuff. It's got a ridiculous shelf life. You can open the jar, and without refrigeration, it'll stay good on your shelf as long as you keep it out of sunlight and don't contaminate it with anything for 3 to 5 years, I've heard. So it's great. We have never even gotten close to having a can around for that long, and it really is good stuff. The other thing is, with having such a long shelf life and not going rancid, it's not going to really damage the boots at all. It's not going to make your boots smell. I've seen people using olive oil on their boots, and that just makes me cringe, because if you leave olive oil out and open and like that, it goes rancid pretty quickly. So it's not something that I would recommend or I would use. I really like this coconut oil. So coconut oil, just like that Obenaufs, it's a solid, but once you start working it with your hands, it has such a low melting point, I think around 75, 76 degrees, that it really just softens up and you can start working it into your boot. The only caveat, the only thing that I am still struggling with this coconut oil, every once in a while I'll take some and hold it in my hand and get it warmed up. Especially being out in the shop here, it's a little cold. I turned off the heater because it's loud, and we're down to 57 degrees right now. So just take this coconut oil and rub it in here. The one thing I don't like about it, though, is you can get quite the buildup of this coconut oil around your stitching. And when that happens, the only time you'll ever notice this is around the stitching. If you get too much coconut oil in there, after it dries, after it re-solidifies, you'll see that around your stitching it kind of looks it looks white. But that's an easy fix. All you gotta do is rub your finger on your stitching for a little bit, rub a brush across it, whatever. Just get that oil reheated up, and it'll eventually soak in there. So that's the only thing that you gotta take care with, is not to get too much of this coconut oil around your stitching. But once you get it on there, this stuff is just great. And I'll show you it polishes up. Just hitting it with the horsehair brush, it polishes up to a pretty nice dull sheen. I'm really not a fan of high polish, high sheen boots, because even though I say these are my dress boots, they eventually always get dirty, they always get muddy, they always get scuffed up, and I really don't like having to polish my shoes and polish my boots all the time to keep them looking good. So if I can just hit them with the horsehair brush real quick and get them looking nice again, that sure beats breaking out a can of brown polish and going through that whole process, because I've never found that enjoyable. Alright, so I got this whole boot covered, and I'm just going to give it one last rub down, really rub it in deep and get this leather warmed up so that all that coconut oil soaks in. So give it one last rub. tongue real good. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to give you the close-up peek of the difference just by rubbing. I haven't even hit them with the horsehair brush yet. Haven't done any of that. Give you the close-up of what we're looking at. Okay, here we go. You can tell that these are a good shade darker than they were before. And right here is what I was talking about here. You see how I have that coconut oil kind of built up around there? Once I brush it and pay a little more attention there, once I brush that, you won't see that anymore. I haven't brushed it at all. So I'll just grab some of that and rub it out. So you can see the coconut oil has darkened up the boot a little bit. And it's nothing to worry about because it's not permanent. They will eventually lighten up in a day or two. And that's as that coconut oil absorbs into the leather and the leather begins to dry out again. So it's a constant process of this leather drying out, and we're keeping it from drying it out by reconditioning it. It's a natural process. It happens all the time. The whole point of leather care is to make this leather last as long as possible. And we do that by reintroducing fats and oils into the leather in its skin. Just like you get dry skin on your hands, you get dry hands and you rub lotion or moisturizer into the hands. You got to do the same thing for your leather boots if you want them to last. So let's get a nice close view here. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. That is absolutely beautiful. And we have not even hit that with the brush yet. Look how gorgeous those look. Look at that. Once we hit that with the brush, it is going to be phenomenal. Compared to that. Oh, look at that. It's old looking. It's kind of worn looking. Not what we want. If you don't ever touch this boot, within a year or two, you're going to be having to buy brand new Red Wing Heritage boots. And at $300 a pop, that's not something you want to do. You take care of the leather, you make it look like this, once a month. These things are going to last you 5, 10, who knows how long. So now this one with the coconut oil on it, I want to brush it with this horsehair brush real quick and just come along and brush it off. And you can see that as I brush it, it starts to develop a great shine, a great sheen. And what it's doing is it's also getting off any of that excess coconut oil. It's working it down into the laces, it's working it into the grain, so that we really don't have to worry about cleaning it up afterwards. And the nice thing that I like about this coconut oil, it polishes to a nice dull sheen. Nice dull sheen. It's not a high polish. It's on the lower side. So you can see here, right there, we got a little of the coconut oil built up. So I'm just going to take the brush and be gentle with it and knock that out of there. It's all gone now. And you can see on the laces here, we got a little of that coconut oil. So I just take my finger and I rub on those laces, get it all heated up, and that takes care of it. That's all you need to do. So get back to brushing. There we go. We got some more coconut oil. See right in there? See that coconut oil built up? Just take my finger, run it around there. It really didn't do much. So I'll take the brush, rub that brush like that, get it right around in that seam there. Boom. Look at that, all gone. Problem solved. Finish the brushing. Brush the back here. Hit the side. Get your tongue. Brush that tongue. Brush along those eyelets. Okay. There we go. We have, look at that. That nice low luster, that low sheen. Look how gorgeous that boot looks. Look at that. Looks absolutely great. Now, let's compare that one with this. Look at that. Nothing done to this boot here. Doesn't look bad. I mean, if you want that weathered look, it's got it. But it's starting to get to the point where the leather's drying out. It needs that health. It needs to be restored. It needs those fats and oils back in it. And that's what we just did with this. We're putting this coconut oil on there and brushing it in. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that looks. All right. So that's it, folks. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Appreciate you watching the leather care videos. I will have more in the future. Didn't get to the small boots tonight, so I'll save those for another day and get those cleaned up. So thanks a bunch. Have a good one. The Provider out.